Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, and we are going to be talking about Xianyun, her build, how she functions, and trying out some teams that would make a meta player cry. So let's get into the video. Hello! So today's going to be a different kind of video. I thought that it would be super fun to talk about Xianyun, how she works, and try a bunch of different characters out as Plunge DPSs. I am filming this video currently on the 3rd of March, and the day that this goes out, I am actually in London for the Genshin concert, which I am so excited for. And I don't know if you guys want to see any content from the concert or from London in general, but I'm so excited to go. I'm genuinely so excited, but I just wanted to show off Xianyun. I made a short video not too long ago about my favorite characters in Genshin, and one of them was Xianyun, and I just wanted to make a video because I thought it would be fun to try out different characters as Plunge DPSs, but to also show off how cool she is as a character. I think she's super fun, and I thought that this could be a fun video. The other reason I wanted to make this video when I am is because I really recently, I think it was when I was pulling for Citlali's weapon, I got my C6 Garming, which I have not tried out yet. I have not tried him out at C6. His C6, if you don't know what it does, the plunge attack gets increased crit rate of 20% and increased crit damage as well by 40%, and its attack radius gets increased. I really struggled to pull for Garming on the original banner when Xianyun was released, so to be able to have C6 is really cool, and I thought that I could make a video of it, and that would be really interesting. I am not a guide maker by any sense. Yes, I do make 60-second guides, but they are just very generic information. It's not going into theory crafting or any actual mathematics being worked out, but I thought we could go over at the start how she functions, her weapon choices and artifacts if you are going to be pulling for her whenever she does rerun, which I'm kind of hoping is going to be soon because she hasn't run since, I think she came out in 4.4. It's been a while since she's had a banner, so I definitely think she is due for one to come up, so maybe she'll be up. But I thought we could just go over her kit, how it works, and just generally talk about how she functions if you are interested in getting her at some point. I've spoken about before in my account overview why I pulled for Xianyun. I was actually trying to get Nahida and her signature weapon, and I ended up getting Crane's Echoing Call instead, so I decided to pull for Xianyun. As I said in that video, it is one of the decisions of my account that I regret the least. I love her weapon, it's really good. If I didn't have her weapon, I would be pulling for it the next time she reran. Xianyun has a lot of different weapon choices for free-to-play players because of the fact that she's a catalyst and she's also animo. Her weapon choices are extremely broad, but generally speaking, the most common ones will be anything like Favonius Codex, Oathsworn Eye, which was an event weapon back in 2.5. It's got a really good base attack, which she doesn't need base attack in the same way that characters like Bennett and Kujo Sara does. It's still a decent addition because she needs attack percent. Oathsworn Eye also has an attack percent secondary stat, and the passive will increase ER, which can be helpful because she can struggle, if she is the solo animo in a team, a little bit for energy, but otherwise it's a really good choice. If you want a 5-star weapon on Xianyun, Crane's Echoing Call is sort of the only one that's worth it in my opinion, when other weapons like Favonius Codex or Oathsworn Eye or even Thrilling Tales of a Dragon Slayer have more team-wide beneficial passives. Even if a 5-star attack catalyst could help her reach the 4,500 attack cap a little bit easier, but it'll depend on your personal preference and also what you have available. Crane's Echoing Call is definitely a good choice, but it's not the only one, and it's certainly not something that you should ever feel forced to pull for. I, generally speaking, only recommend pulling on weapon banners if you want both of the weapons that are on that banner. So, for example, on the weapon banner currently is Silver Shower Heartstrings and Sunny Morning Sleepin'. This may be controversial. I've talked about it before a couple of times on this account. I have Xianyun, I have a C2 Xianyun. I don't have her signature weapon. It's something that I am very interested in getting for my Xianyun because I use her a lot. But also, I don't have Mizuki yet, as I've spoken about. I'm not pulling for Mizuki because she's a standard character. I'll lose to her eventually. But I did pull for her weapon because of the fact that it will disappear and it won't go onto the standard selection. I was perfectly happy with getting either Sunny Morning Sleepin' or Silver Shower Heartstrings. I got very lucky and I got the weapon that I wanted, but generally speaking, I don't ever recommend pulling for a weapon if you aren't happy getting either of those limited weapons, because at least then, yes, you still have a chance to get a standard weapon, but it's only 33.3% rather than getting 66% chance of getting a weapon that you don't want. In terms of artifacts, most people, if you look at the artifact recommendations up here, most people are running Viridescent Venera. Generally speaking, for the average player, it would be more recommended to go for Viridescent Venera, just because of the fact that it can decrease the elemental res for the element that's been infused in the swirl. I run her on Song of Days Past. There's a couple reasons for why I want to put her on Song of Days Past over Viridescent Venera. It's a bit of a weird way of playing the game. I like to play the game based on characters that I either don't have and will have in future, or builds that I want to try. So for example, a lot of people don't understand pulling for Xianyun if you don't have a character like Xiao, as she is pretty much designed with Xiao in mind, and I don't have him. However, I am interested in eventually getting Xiao, and for me, I'd rather have his supports built first before I pull for him than have to build 3 supports for him the day that I get him. What this does for me is, if you look at like an ideal team, for me, having characters with sets like this, it means that I have the opportunity to swap them if I want to. Say for example, I'm running a Garming team here, it would be far more beneficial to have Viridescent Venera running on Xianyun on this team, rather than a set like Song of Days Past. She does enough healing where, in my opinion, she doesn't need a healing set attached to her, but it's still a really good option, and for me, this opens up more broader opportunities for teams where most times it'll just come down to personal preference whether you want to run Viridescent Venera on her over a healing set. Especially for me, if I were to remove Bennett from this team and swap him out with, say, Sitlali, Xianyun's healing needs to be a little bit stronger to keep up with Furina's fanfare stacks. Most of the times it will come down to who you are running, what you have, and what you want to do. Other options include something like Ocean Hued Clam could work if you have some pieces left over, that can work, it's a very good option. Similarly, again, if you're running a team that doesn't have a character like Bennett in this team, Noblesse Oblige can also work for that attack buff increase. Works great for characters if you have a DPS that's an attack scaling plunger, so again, pretty much all of them, like Garming and Xiao. Another option that people talk about is just a plain two-piece attack percent. That can work. It's very, very common with Xianyun builds as well as Shenhe to try and get that max attack buff. The cap of her buff is 4,500, which I am unfortunately just under. I think obviously if I had some better pieces that had more rolls into attack percent rather than anything else, they're kind of bad, but if you're running a 2-piece attack percent, it can be a lot easier to hit that attack buff. In terms of constellations, mine is C0. I do have the full intent of eventually getting her C2. Her C1 just gives her an additional charge of her E. If you have her here, you can go 1, 2, 3, and then plunge. And then you'll get another charge similar to characters like Sucrose, or if you have a sacrificial sword of some description. But her C2 is the one that's much more interesting. So her A4 passive is essentially what gives the buff to your characters. It is the part of her kit that increases the damage based off of attack. The maximum attack that you need to cap out this buff is 4,500. That does not change. C2 just increases the amount of damage that you can do. The maximum damage increase that can be achieved in this passive is 9,000. C2 changes that, so the cap is actually 18,000. So it's a massive buff to plunging damage. Obviously constellations aren't necessary, but if you are interested in any, personally, I think her C2 is worth noting. Something like C1 can help with energy if you're able to plunge twice or activate twice. It just helps with rotations becoming a little bit faster and a bit neater. But I personally am interested in getting her C2. You will notice that even though she is a plunging character, I only have her normal attack at level 6. That is because even if you plunge with her E, her plunging attack will be converted into Drift Cloud Wave instead, which deals damage based on how far you plunge. So this first number, for example, because you can jump twice, so I'll just wait for the cooldown to go off. So if you go once and then plunge, that will be the first damage. If you go a second time, it will be the second, and so on and so forth. The main buff will come from her burst, which is all based off of something called Adeptal Assistance. Essentially, Adeptal Assistance is the buffed plunging damage that your character can do. So I don't have my burst done. Come here, please. Gimme. Thank you. So for example, if I were to burst here, you have this thing following you around, and it means that Jean can now plunge. You start with 8 stacks. Every time you do a plunging attack, you will lose a stack. So essentially, you can have 8 plunges on any character, regardless of their kit. Obviously, if you have a character like Garming and Xiao that have plunging built into their kits, it just will obviously buff the plunges that they do and it doesn't limit them within their burst or their rotations. But that's it. That's pretty much how you build it. So this is going to be the fun part of the video. I'm so excited to try out different enemies. You need to leave. You need to leave me alone. I think we should try out Garming first. I think we should try out the standard team before we start going into any weird teams. I usually run Bennett in this team mainly because of the fact that my Bennett is C6'd, which means that whilst you are waiting for Manchai to come back in his burst state, you can do some normal attacks with Bennett. So I suppose we should do... This is where we should start testing, I think. I have a feeling Furina is not going to be the easiest thing to test with because she does kill everything. Furina is also one of the best characters to run with Xianyun. These two go together so well, it's actually genuinely quite frightening. Because of Xianyun's burst healing and team-wide healing, it means Furina can really easily get her fanfare stacks that she needs to be able to buff every other character, which is often why you will see these two together. But, oh, I should probably give a small overview for those that haven't seen my account. This is my Garming. My Garming has... That is not Garming, that is Xianyun. This is my Garming. This may look insanely low, but you have to remember he is on Marachose Hunter, which will give him 36% crit rate, so on top of that, so that is about 67%. But then he also has this weapon, which increases his plunging crit rate by 16%, which means that that puts him... Oh my god, I'm having to do maths. 83%, I think? Is that right? 36 plus 31... 36 plus 31 is 67. 67 is... and then... 73. 83. He has 83% crit rate, but he also... He also now has a C6, which means that he is actually overcapped on crit rate. I also, the day that I get R5 of this weapon, he will have 32% crit rate on his plunging. So I'm honestly really debating on rebuilding my Garming at some point. Probably onto... What's the word? I can't think of the word. What's the name of the artifact set? Vermilion? I'm thinking about putting him on Vermilion, but to be honest, I'm not sure at the current moment in time. He just has so much crit rate. I used to have him, and this is the thing as well, I used to have him on this R5 Serpent Spine, and I moved him onto this for the attack stack because I thought it would be more useful. It's one of those things. Anyway, yeah, so my Garming's on Fruitful Hook. I could level 90 that, and I probably should. He is 888 talent, C6 on Marachose Hunter. Obviously, we've just gone over her. This is my Furina. She is on Splendor of Tranquil Waters, Golden Troop. She's C1, and she's 888. Bennett is 88 C6 on Noblesse Oblige with Favonius Sword. I may do a proper showcase at the end where I give him a high base attack sword so we can get as many buffs as possible, but we'll see. Anyway, and then we'll do this, and then we'll do this, and then we'll do that, and then we'll do that, and then we'll go bang. So 147, I think that was? 147. That's not bad. I think maybe we should try that on something a little bit more survivable than Cryo Registine. Okay. I saw an 81. I saw a 92. I saw 100 and something. 91. How are we getting more now that Bennett's burst is gone? How did that happen? I don't have Xianyun burst, so... Bennett, I need you to clutch. I need you to Favonius proc like you've never Favonius procced in your life. Boken da Boken! Yeah, that's what I thought. Boken to Boken. Get it, my guy. And then... Huh! Vape! 100 and... I didn't see what that was. Was that 164? 167? Get it! One more! Yeah! Look at that! Anyway, so we did that. Let's go and swap with Sitlali. Honestly, I got mad respect now for people who do showcases. Having to get energy every 5 seconds is really annoying. Right, this one I have to be specific. I have to actually think about what I'm doing. Right, you've got Cryo. And then I do that, and then it melts. And then we bring in Furina, and then we buff, and then we... And then I... That wasn't Cryo! There's not Cryo! Where's my Cryo? Furina, what are you doing to my Cryo? I think I f***ed this up. I wasn't getting my Cryo application. It was getting confused. I was getting confused, I'll say that much. This is supposed to be a fucking Xianyun video, and Sitlali is currently causing me all types of issues. Right, so we're gonna Sitlali, we're gonna Garming, we're gonna Furina, we're gonna Xianyun, we're gonna Burst, we're gonna Shield, we're gonna Sitlali. I didn't f***ing crit? Okay, 170. Wow, that cryo is awful. Right, anyway, we got 170k. That's beyond the point. I'm done. Gumming, it's been fun. So we're going to move on to some more, in my opinion, a little bit more fun team comps. I think we should start with Navia. There's a couple of reasons why I like to use Navia. We can't use Xilonen because that'll be... She won't buff because of... Yeah, okay. I've just realized that. Ignore me. We can use Kachina though. Kachina's here for Crystallize. That's why she's here. We're gonna try Navia plunging for the sole reason that her A1 passive, after using her E, her normal and charge attacks will be converted to Geo, and she has increased plunging attack damage. So she's actually basically designed to be a plunger, if you ask me. We're gonna try this team out. I feel like Kachina will be the best for Cinder City because I can't use Xilonen because Xilonen has to have PHEC. So Xilonen wouldn't work in this comp. Also, just a quick overview of my Kachina. I'll go over like a really quick overview of each character that we swap into a team. This is my Kachina. She is 75 140. Don't ask why she has so much crit rate. It just happened. She's 2000 defense. She's on a Battle Pass deathmatch. She's on Cinder City. She's C6 and she's +8. Let's go. Again, this is the kind of team that would have the benefit of having Xianyun on a separate set for healing, because there is no point in having Res Shred because it will only just increase the damage of Furina, not the DPS that we are actually interested in buffing. I do want to have Furina's minions on the floor is the only thing. So we're gonna go Bonk, and then I imagine Kachina, then this. And then I should have ridden Navia Burst at the start of the rotation. Bonk, and then 98. Was that? Was that an 82? I didn't see what that was a 203 on an E though. I didn't see what that was, and I was meant to burst at the beginning of the rotation. That's on me. Let me try that again. I need to burst Navia at the beginning of the rotation to ensure we're getting enough crystallized to get her stacks. We're gonna burst. Furina E, Kachina, Furina Burst, Bonk, Kachina E, Navia, 84. So I think the next question is who is next? I think it's Raiden time. I think we should do Raiden Plunge. I still think Kujo-Sara, perhaps, perchance. We could put Xilonen in this team. Let's try out this team. We'll try Raiden Plunge. Again, for this Raiden team, just do a quick overview. My Raiden Shogun is 55 over 159. I might give her some crit rate food just so I don't have to redo this over and over again. She is on Engulfing Lightning. She's on, of course, Emblem of Severed Fate. She's C2. She's 888. My Kujo-Sara needs a lot of work, but she is on Favonia's Warbow. I might swap her onto Elegy for the end just to try this out. I think that would be really cool to try. She is also on Emblem of Severed Fate. She is C6. She's 888. And my Xilonen has 3500 defense. She has an R3 Flute of a Spitzel. She's on Cinder City. She is C0 and she's 888. I didn't see what that was. We're not critting! I didn't crit like any of those. Ah, let me eat me crit rate food. Let me find my crit rate food before I f this up. Don't die, don't die. 85. And then Kujo. She broke her neck, but it's fine. Crit, Raiden! Can you fucking crit? How are you critting on all of your physicals but none of your burst? You have crit rate food. You have 75. You have 75 crit rate, Raiden. Why are you not critting? Right, Raiden. I saw an 80k once. We'll we'll end with that. Who is next? Ooh, should we do Klee? I have done Klee before. I did do a showcase a very long time ago before I started doing voice content.
about?
Thank you, Klee. Before I started doing voice content, I did do a Klee video. Maybe we should do a Klee. I will have to give her artifacts as I don't actually have anything. I will have to give her a build. I could enhance this and see how it goes. Ooh, could you get some any of the good stats that are in this piece, please? Are you fucking kidding me? What is this piece? What is this? We'll give you my Yoimiya pieces. Right, we'll give you that. What does that put you on? 75 over 209. Klee, Xilonen, Furina, and then hope for the best. Furina. And then... Whoa! What the fuck was that, Klee? Is Klee actually good? Maybe Klee actually is good. Maybe I should build her. Oh, I didn't mean to go to Raiden. Oh my god, we should so try this out on Raiden. Klee, we're taking you to Raiden. I actually thought that... Was that 100? What is that? I can't see. Too many things are happening. I'm not a showcaser. I don't know how to do this. $90? I saw a 90. 95. 49. Okay, that wasn't that bad. I say we go to Raiden now that I have full energy. Should we take Xilonen or should we take Citlali? Oh, I saw 100. Should we take Klee into the Abyss? I feel like that would be funny. I wouldn't say this Abyss is particularly good for Klee, but it's not, it could be worse. Xianyun, Furina, and we'll chuck in Citlali, and if we want to try out something else, we'll do something else. And then I'm just gonna do my tried and true on the first half, I feel. Let me just clear the first half. I did it. I think my problem is Klee's bombs. I think. Yeah, I think my problem is Klee's bombs. I have 45 seconds! Shit! So we're not gonna E. That was 116, 119. I definitely think that this has its merits, and I think that it's super fun to be able to use Klee again, at least in a relatively better way than she functions. Obviously, mine is C0 as well, so she's fun, she functions, I enjoy her. I think maybe we should try Lynette. Now, I do not have a built Lynette, so I am just going to give her a random, probably the same set that I gave Klee. I'm probably just going to give her some Shimenawa pieces. I'm going to give her Mist Splitter. We'll give her Mist Splitter, 62 over 174. She is only level 70, she's not built, but she is C6, which means that she'll gain Animo Infusion, so it should be a bit more interesting to make her a DPS. 28, 30 on the plunge. 43. Okay. That's not that bad. I don't think that's bad, considering she's not on the right set that she needs to be. Should we try her on Marishose? Maybe we should try her on Marishose. I'll give her my Garming pieces. 46. 46 seems to be the highest. I don't think we're gonna get any more with that, but I hate having to swap builds around. As fun as this video is, I hate having to swap builds around. I actually despise it. Should we try Arlecchino? No, we'll try Hu Tao. We'll do Xingqiu Furina. We'll do a vape one. We'll do this team. Once again, we'll do a quick overview. She has Staff of Homer. She is on this shit build. I'm probably just gonna give her... I'll give her Arlecchinos, because that'll give her 8% crit rate, and we'll just eat some crit rate food. We have Xingqiu, he's on R5 Sacrificial Sword, he is on Emblem of Severed Fate, mine is T6, he's double 8, and he has a ratio of 53 over 130, which is just short of a 1-to-2 ratio. I also recently got Xingqiu C6. He is a character that I didn't have C6 until like... Let's go get our burst up, and we'll try Plunge Hu Tao. Plunge Hu Tao has the benefit of jump cancelling, because essentially potentially what you can do is you can still do a plunge and then jump and then do a plunge attack, and then it's a little finicky to work around, and I don't like using this enemy. I might go and swap to Ashtaher for this one just because I don't like it. I don't like doing this one because Hu Tao, generally speaking, will plunge underneath the boss because it has an area underneath it that you can go under. So I think we'll try this one on not Ashtaher but the Geovishap. I don't know what element it is. Hopefully it isn't Pyro. Let's go! I forget what I need to do for this team. Furina, Xingqiu, and then you, and then you, and then we're gonna plunge, jump, I missed, plunge, jump, and then burst. Okay. Oh, get your ass back down here. I don't remember what number I saw. I saw a number. It looked good. We'll try without Furina and we'll swap it for Xilonen and we'll see how close we get to a decent number. Okay. I'm gonna do something possibly controversial. Potentially controversial. Potentially controversial. So we'll do Furina. I haven't played Hu Tao in ages, I sort of forget how to work her. Let me retry that. It does work, it's very finicky. I think Bennett definitely suffers here because of the fact that you need to get within a certain radius for his burst. If he didn't bugger off, I think we would have had that. I definitely have energy recharge problems on my Furina, don't worry, I am aware. That was nearly a full... I mean, I would argue that was kind of a full rotation takeout. I think we kind of killed that. I definitely think that plunging with Hu Tao gives her a very interesting change to her playstyle. I also think that it works very, very well for people who don't have C1 Hu Tao for the charged attack not consuming stamina. I think it works very, very well to increase the damage that your team is outputting. Especially, obviously, if you have characters like Furina as well that will benefit from it. Obviously, generally speaking, Hu Tao benefits from being under a certain amount of HP, so Furina isn't really her best in slot team option, but she can work pretty well. Who's next? Who's next for the plunging team? Should we do Ayaka? I think Ayaka could be fun. I think we should do Ayaka. I think we'll just do a classic freeze team. That's not a freeze team. Mualani, no, go away. Mai Shenhe isn't built though. She's level 40. She's not going to do anything for this team, so I'm going to put in Xilonen instead. Now, this one is definitely going to be a bit more stupid because in order to get her infusion, you have to do this, which is a bit more awkward to do when plunging. I need to give her her weapon back. It's definitely going to be an interesting one. I'm just going to take her straight into the abyss. Any of those of you that are wondering, I did recently finally get my attack timepiece for Ayaka, and it's actually not that bad. It's not great, but it's not awful. And then just in what I like to refer to as Mualani National. So again, wait, why is this cooking? Why is this cooking? This is very awkward to work. Oh, I forgot to... Why is this working? Why does this work? What is this? Okay, I need to actually remember to Xianyun this time. And then I'm gonna... And then dash, and then... Why is this working? What is this? I feel like that shouldn't work. I really feel like that shouldn't work as well as that does. Yay! Genuinely hilarious. That's a really fun team. I like it. I got introduced to Plunge Ayaka because of Imaginarium Theatre and I kind of had to use it, but that was quite fun. I don't think there's... I mean, we could try like Risley. Maybe do like a Risley Plunge. I definitely think I'd probably go with a Xiangling instead and do like a Melt Plunge. I definitely need something with more EM than that. Anyone got EM? Well, he has 42 EM. Maybe we should do, instead of Furina, we bring in the EM. Oh no, we should try Furina Plunge. I think Furina Plunge could be interesting with Candace. Okay, that's kind of fun. That's not bad. 50k Plunge. I definitely think I want to try Furina with a C6 Candace. We'll try it. We're gonna make C6 Furina at home. Once again, just for general reference, she is on... That's not what she's meant to be on. Black Tassel, Emblem of Severed Fate. She's C6, and I think she's 6 with double 8. It's time for C6 Furina at home. Okay, that actually wasn't as bad as I thought that would be. Now, that is sort of it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to cover like the two main DPSs that Xianyun works really well with, being Xiao and Diluc, as I don't have my Diluc built in the slightest, and I also don't have Xiao. But that is the end of this video. This isn't meant to be anything serious or trying to pressure you into pulling for Xianyun. I just wanted to show off one of my favorite characters and talk about how fun I think she is and how many teams she opens up for different characters, different playstyles. I said this before, I think Xianyun is the kind of character that Genshin needs to make more of. Supports that can bring older characters back into the forefront of the game again. As I said, when this video comes out, I will actually be in London for the Genshin concert, so I will definitely post some photos on my Instagram and TikTok, so definitely go and check me out on those platforms. Thank you so much for your support. Once again, this video will be going up 3 days before the drop of 5.5, so if you do plan on topping up this patch, I highly recommend using Loot Bar. You can save up to 22% on Genesis crystals. Thank you so much for all of your support. It genuinely means a lot to me. I'm very excited for the next couple of videos. We're going to do Varesa pulls. We're going to do Natland 5.5 in 24 hours. We're going to have some more 4 stars only. I want to start doing another account fixings. Thank you for all of your applications for those. The link to the form will be in the description if you want to apply for having an account overview. But thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching. Kiss kiss. Bye bye.